going to go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining, everyone. Again, my name is Steve Newell. I'm the founder and CEO of Cloud Consult, and I'm joined today with Nextiva. And Nextiva is going to be showing us the Nextiva revenue platform. Now, if you've never heard of a revenue platform, that's because I've just made that term up. And just to make it clear what I'm referring to as far as a revenue platform, let me just share this slide here. What is a revenue platform? Basically, all of us have platforms where we're taking calls, we're taking messages, we're sending messages out, we're escalating them, we're dipping into on-call schedules, et cetera, and we're getting reports back, and we're supporting all of our clients through phone calls and basically backstopping them and making sure they get all those extremely important messages that they count on you for. Now, there's another whole ocean of revenue opportunities out there that with the current legacy platforms in play, you're really not going to be able to reach. And that's what this webinar is about. It's about driving a lot of new revenue for your current customers and future customers, prospects, and in just a couple areas. For instance, and I just jotted down a couple of different things: Omni email and SMS. You can do marketing, appointment reminders, mass notification, surveys, in and outbound SMS, where it could be machines are sending you an email saying that they need a technician to come out and help them. This can be multi-language. Now, all those little asterisks next to marketing, appointment reminders, et cetera, that indicates that all of those transactions can be agent-less. So now you're driving revenue, but you're not increasing your labor costs. CRM integrations. Nextiva is very, very experienced in CRM integrations. Pretty much everybody that they are supporting on their call center platforms has one or even many more CRMs. So they're very, very experienced in integrating with all kinds of CRMs. It enables you to have integrate with CRMs, have AI summaries of all the calls pushed back to the CRM. So there's very consistent messaging. You can use just a single license instead of multiple licenses into the CRM, which some of these CRMs are very expensive. So that's a lot of savings. And of course, there's no CRM training needed because you can push the information into a script, and your agent, instead of having to learn all kinds of different CRMs in order to be excellent at taking the call, they just have to follow the bouncing ball that you've created in the script. Outbound dialers and IVRs, sales and lead lists. You can begin calling out on them. Appointment reminders, mass notifications, surveys, and all these dialers come with call cadence. So in other words, you can make multiple calls. If you don't reach them the first time, it puts it back into the queue, and based on the requirements that you're given by your client, you can call every 4 hours, every couple of days, whatever, and you have reporting on how many times you called, when you're successful, so on and so forth. Web chat, of course, those web chats come with bots. They come with intelligence. They come with things that you can do automatically. You can do database lookups. You can send, gather information about an opportunity and then send all that information to an agent so that you're saving agent time. You can even, and we'll see this today, you can even, when you're doing a web chat, if you needed to, you could pop a script. And you can walk through a script and gather that information just as though you're on a phone call. So that is what I define as a revenue platform. And just wanted to give that brief summary before we jumped in. This is not meant to displace your legacy platform. This is meant to enhance your opportunity to drive revenue. And so our agenda today, Nextiva is going to be introducing themselves and their company. We're going to do a platform demo, and then I'll close it out with some comments and Q&A. And of course, There's an opportunity for you to type any kind of questions that you have and into the webinar, and we'll cover them at the end. But I look forward to your questions. And at this time, I'm going to hand it over to Nextiva and Tom Harold.
Thank you, Steve, and really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you and the rest of the participants. You know, Steve, your term revenue platform, I can really appreciate, and we're going to talk about what we have created a net new acronym, but revenue platform really resonates with me, specifically the platform term of it. Now, little background on who we are. As an organization, we started with the idea that we needed to take all of the amazing telecommunications experience and software and technology that existed for those large global enterprise customers, a lot of the logos you see on the right, and democratize that and move it down and make it available to all businesses. We have 1,500 plus employees inside of our organization. We do billions of conversations a year, 50 patents, a million plus users that we're helping, but also real proud of the 85 net promoter score that we have. When we have a million plus subscribers on our platform and we still maintain an 85 point net promoter score, that really goes to a tenet that we have, which is amazing service. And that drives back to the 1,500 employees. So appreciate the opportunity there. We're going to show another acronym that we've created. It's kind of a subset of the revenue platform, or it's the engine that develops the revenue platform that Steve talked about. And we call it the Unified CXM, or Customer Experience Management Platform. And you can see we started our organization back in 2008, where we were providing for very small businesses VoIP. And the intention was, again, to take that enterprise grade technology and democratize it down. But throughout the years, we've expanded and grown our business and helped our customers get to a point to where last year we had UCaaS, CCaaS, Contact Center as a Service, and customer experience management, or the online reputation management, all integrated with generative AI and all the amazing things that our world is creating. So that as a service model, we're constantly evolving, growing our technology, constantly applying for new patents, and delivering that inside the experience to our customers. So when we talk about one unified CXM platform, that includes voice, digital, and process automation. So Steve talked about some of those business processes that happen, and Patrick and Matt are going to show you those in the demos coming up. But again, intelligent routing, real-time call analytics, bots, reminders, payment processing. All of that is TCPA and certification, HIPAA compliant, high trust. We check the boxes. And not only do we check those boxes, but we check them with third-party certification, not just a self-attestation saying, trust us, we are HIPAA compliant. The next thing, how does that come down to helping you and your business and make it a revenue platform? And so, here are some metrics for customers that we've done where On Track Health has increased their CSAT. The Cedar Financial has been able to reduce their technology footprint by 7-1. And TELUS International had a 66% reduction in vendors and a 75% cost reduction. So it really kind of hits on those bullets that Steve talked about a few minutes ago. Now, how you do that is, optimizing your tech stack and reducing costs. So again, we're talking about a platform. Our platform, in many cases, takes those best of breed technologies where you might have had your existing voice infrastructure, and you start putting best of breed on top of it. As technologies were introduced and evolved, you started bolting on technology to it. So if you're taking credit card payments, you might have PCI Pal or Securio. We have embedded in our platform a secure credit card gateway bot that's embedded in the application, and it gives you the opportunity to remove those vendors and consolidate down into ours. Workforce engagement managers, Calabrio or Verint, again, an additional license cost that needed to be bolted on that's embedded within our product. The process automation of Appian and Pega, and Steve talked about our deep integrations with CRMs. So Dynamics, Salesforce, HubSpot, the list goes on. The next thing that I find most important, and Steve talked about the fact that we've got a lot of experience and we want to share that with you. I've worked with the team that developed this software since 2004. And there's been multiple iterations and companies that have been evolved and acquired over that time since 2004. And every time that acquisition or that technology was written, it was the best at the time. But we always felt like there were things that we wanted to accomplish or try to do for our customers that we just couldn't because of the technology. This latest incarnation with the hyperscalers and the cloud native deployment and solution that we have really gets us to a place where we can offer no maintenance windows, no downtime for upgrades or host fixes, and no downtime upgrade, add, or subtract capacity. So there's a vertical elasticity and a horizontal elasticity to this. And so the ability to manage and maintain your needs, your growth is really important. I talk about time to revenue. When we think about the business process outsourcing business, how quickly can I get efficient, effective, and working for my customer? How quickly can I acquire the customer and start the billing process, providing the service? And so our platform, with its geo-redundant microservice architecture, really reduces time to revenue. And then the components that Steve talked about in the revenue platform on how we grow that business. Now, what it all boils down to is goes back to those 1,500 employees inside of our organization. We are focused and dedicated on providing amazing service, driving technology into the small, medium-sized business. But also, our platform was really designed and architected by contact center experts. As I mentioned, I started working with this team in 2004, but even then, before that, we had folks that were in the contact center space for 10 or 15 years. I started a telecommunications billing company in 1996 and did a whole bunch of stuff with traditional PBXs, telephony, ISDN, PRIs, and all that legacy. So we have a long lineage and history of what we do. And that's our human touch. It's the absolute CX domain expertise that we have that we want to continue to grow and share with our customers. An intelligent platform, again, that architecture, the microservices, the hyperscaler capabilities, the global redundancy. We offer a 6-9 component on our website, which, we're all in this business. We know 5 nines is around 5 minutes. 6 nines is 31 seconds a year. 31 seconds a year that we're going to make sure that we're up, providing service, and allowing you to provide that service to your customers. So really important on the architecture of the platform. Then when it comes to AI and rich data, we like to say that we're kind of the adults in the room. Because of our experience, we're going to help you with an ROI. We're going to help you understand how to deploy what AI and when to deploy it and where the real value is. Because everybody can talk about the idea of eliminating agents with generative AI and bots, but the reality is you need a careful balance of automation and agents. I don't think we're ever going to get rid of agents, and I don't think we'll ever have the chance. The automation and AI is going to improve, but how you use that automation and AI to augment and improve the human is where the real success comes into play. And so that's the focus on customer ROI, practical AI, and rich data. So I appreciate the opportunity and time. Look forward to conversations. And Steve and I are going to be available not only at the end of the call for questions, but going forward in the future. So at this point, I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to give the palette over to Matt. Think you got it, Matt.
Perfect. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate that. And thank you to all the participants who've joined us today. For the next 10 or 15 minutes here, we're going to focus on a specific segment of the Nextiva tech stack. I like to describe this as social media management and reputation management. And I certainly understand that this is not something that you might be offering your customers today, but I think that's where the opportunity is. We realize that there is a lot of content here. And so I want to emphasize that we are working hand in hand with Stephen to help you bring this technology to your customers. And so please engage with us, put those questions in chat if you have them. We will circle back, answer any questions that you have. And there will be some additional sessions that Steve is setting up for us to do a little bit deeper dive on some of these products. But let me explain what we're looking at in my browser window here. This, as I said, this product is a social media management, reputation management product. Now, where it will be unique for you is if you offer this to your customers, you would have multiple workspaces. You can see in the mock-up, the test account that I have here, I'm pretending that I am managing social media for Burger King and for Domino's and McDonald's and Wednesdays. The Phoenix table is my make-believe company. That is a small retail restaurant in the Phoenix area. Again, this is make-believe. That's not real. But as we dive into this, I think you'll see the power of this platform. I wanted to start here on this dashboard so that you could see those different workspaces and start to formulate an idea of how you might offer this to your customers. But what we're going to do is drill down here into what we call the Unibox. The Unibox is aggregating social media for me. If you look over here on the left, what is happening is my pretend company, the Phoenix Table, they have a Twitter or X account. They have a Facebook account. They have an Instagram account. They have a LinkedIn account. And oftentimes what we hear from customers is that it's difficult to manage all of those things. Logging into those 5 or 6 different platforms and then staying on top of the social media posts that are coming in or the reviews that are coming in Yelp, that can be cumbersome for the best of marketing people. What this product does here, and this is the first pillar of the product, there's 3 pillars, but this is the first pillar of the product. It aggregates all of a company's social media into one place where I can then interact with that social media and start to respond. And I'm doing that from a single pane of glass in one window. Now, I will be the first to admit there are other products out there that do this, but there are not other products that do all 3 things that Nextiva does. So the next component here that we're going to focus on is publishing social media. You're not always just reacting to a review on Google or a review on Yelp or a nasty Facebook post that somebody put on your business page. A lot of what a marketing department has to do is compose content and then publish it across those various platforms. Oftentimes, what we see is companies want to send out a coupon or they want to generate interest in an event. And that might be a reoccurring event. So they might publish something every Tuesday morning. What our platform does is it allows that person to compose that social media content and then publish it across multiple channels. One interesting detail here that is not immediately available, or it's not a conclusion you would necessarily draw looking at my screen right here. There's over 300 social media platforms, messaging applications, review applications that we can connect to. And it is as simple as plugging in your credentials one time for that particular platform, and then everything becomes aggregated into a single interface like we're looking at here. Now, that publishing component, I describe that as the second pillar of the product. So you might be wondering, okay, what's the third thing? The third component of this product, in my opinion, is what I believe is the most special component. As the Phoenix table, I might be interested in what my nearest competitors are doing. And in this particular scenario, what I've said is that Domino's and Wendy's are my closest competitors. Now, we obviously know that's not true. The Phoenix table is a pretend company. But what this allows me to do, we call this social media listening. What this allows me to do is really quantify my social media, my impressions against what my competitors are doing. You get a lot of graphical data. You can infer quite a bit by simply looking at the graphs on this web page. How many Twitter impressions am I making versus Domino's or Wendy's? Who's got a higher positive sentiment versus a negative sentiment? As we continue to go down, if I have review sites plugged in, Yelp reviews perhaps, if I'm a restaurant, then I get a breakdown of my reviews compared to others' reviews. Since it's social media, I get demographic information. I know the age brackets of the people who are posting social media. I can see where they're posting, whether it's geographically related or platform related. Some people like Instagram, some people like X. Where am I, as a brand, where am I getting the most traction? And so imagine just for a moment, if you offer this to your customers. Hey, we can manage all of your social media, your online footprint, your reputation in a single place. There's very, very powerful graphics included with this platform. When I'm monitoring brands, I can see the keywords people are using in their social media posts. And we call these word clouds. As the word gets larger on the screen, that means it's being used more and more and more. And you get to see which particular platforms those words are used in, what the overall sentiment. Some people call that, the overall impressions that I'm making online. Are they negative, positive, neutral? A ton of actionable intelligence in this platform, something that a lot of customers find extremely powerful. Now, if I want to drill down to that even further, let's say I want to do a deep analysis on my company. You can kind of see the variety of dashboards and things on the screen here that you can dive into. But what I really like, let's switch gears for a minute. Let's pretend that I'm Domino's. And I really need to do a deep dive on what platforms am I gaining traction on? Where are my negative impressions versus my positive impressions? And so a summary dashboard like this one will do a really good job of showing me, okay, almost 300,000 impressions over this particular time frame that I'm looking at. Down below that, I can see where the majority of my impressions are. People really like to use Twitter. Formerly known as Twitter, it's X now, right? If I continue to go down on this dashboard, I get further breakdown. I get even more detailed word clouds. And here's what I love about this. If I want to drill down on one of these positive words, let's say we just published something on social media and we're doing a giveaway of pizzas on Tuesday night if the Broncos win. I just made that up, as you can tell. But you get the point. People are using that word, giveaway. But where are they using that? If I drill down on that, It's going to show me the trends, what platforms and other words are being used in those social media posts. And down below that, I get the actual social media posts. These are all on Twitter, by the way. I know that because I see the little Twitter logo there. I can even drill further into these, look at specific hashtags and keywords people are using. And so the idea here is that this platform allows you to potentially manage, this is another revenue stream for you, to potentially manage the social media of your customers. Now, certainly there's going to be people that have this down pat and have very large marketing departments, and this isn't potentially going to be interesting to them. Even in that scenario, I think it's pretty compelling because, as I mentioned early on, there's not another product out there that does all three of those things. There are platforms that aggregate into an inbox format, social media. There are platforms that do social media publishing across multiple social media channels. I'm not aware of another platform that does the social media listening or the comparisons. But when you combine those three things, I think that's really compelling. This goes back to what Tom mentioned. If we can minimize a tech stack, if we can reduce somebody's footprint, start thinking about all the different tools that somebody might use to manage all of this content, if we can condense that into a single platform, I think you've got a pretty good argument to potentially offer your customers. Now, there's a couple of other minor components here that I want to talk about real quick. I'm going to go back to the front page here, and I'm actually going to show you how a customer typically onboards with this product. You can see on the left side of my screen, it's a little bit of a wizard walkthrough. You put in your name, you invite your team members, you plug in your social media channels, you define who your competitors are. You plug in your app stores that you want to listen to. You plug in your review sites that you want to listen to. If you're a retail e-commerce heavy business, you plug in Amazon so that you can listen to those reviews. You plug in all of these different components, and it's very simple. As I said, typically all you're doing is entering your company business profile username for Facebook and your password, and that you're set. It is off into the races. However, a couple of other components that really come into play here. Direct messaging applications, things like WhatsApp, becoming very popular these days. Many businesses have a WhatsApp phone number. Kind of blows my mind, but I can aggregate that data in here. If I have live chat on my website, fully customizable chat with a chat bot that I can offer on my website. I can plug that in to have that automated chat experience into messaging applications and other platforms. I can fully adjust that to use my company color codes and my logos. You're seeing a little bit of a preview over here on the side. And I'll tell you what I love about this chatbot. It is extremely simple to build. It is all done. We'll take a look at one here. It is all done. I'm going to zoom way out. It's all done in a drag and drop format. If the customer clicks yes, it goes this direction. If they click no, it goes this direction. It tends to be very, very easy to build out. Usually takes no more than an hour to get a completely functional, custom built chatbot for you. So I hope that gives you a little bit of a taste of what the social media management, what we refer to as the CX component of our product. And I hope that gets the juices flowing, helps you maybe think about different ways that you might be able to offer this to your customers. Now, Patrick's going to get ready to take over the screen here, and Patrick's going to dive into some of the more traditional components that Tom and Steve referenced earlier with our contact center product. Again, please don't be overwhelmed. If you have questions, put them into the chat. We will, as I said, be doing follow-up meetings with folks, and we can do deep dives on any segment of the platform that you guys want to look at. So thank you again for your time. Patrick, are you ready?
I am. Thanks very much, Matt. I'm going to go ahead and start a screen share here. Okay, so I am sharing my screen, and at this point, you should be looking at our Nextiva Contact Center. Specifically, I have up a list of campaigns. What I'm going to show today is, first of all, outbound SMS text campaigns and how we can fully automate those using bot or virtual agent functionality. But I'm also going to show how, with our full omni-channel contact center, we can also escalate bot conversations to a live agent. So I'm going to start out here. By the way, I'm sharing my mobile phone here, so you'll be able to see the text messages come in. But for right now, I got to go ahead and I got to start the list-based campaign. So I've got a particular campaign here called appointment reminders. And the idea here is that I'm sending out texts reminding people of appointments, making sure that they'll be able to show up and whatnot. Let me just move this Zoom control out of the way. Just a moment, guys. So there's lots of settings related to a campaign, including the caller ID, or in this case, the number presented for the text, as well as various other settings. So I'm going to jump here to the lists, and I'm going to go ahead and start a list that I had uploaded previously. So in this case, I uploaded a CSV file with one or more numbers, although we have done lots of different integrations to look up leads in other systems, for example, Salesforce, HubSpot, various CRMs. The idea being that you don't have to upload a CSV if you don't want to. We can instead look for new leads in other places and then add them to the list to receive these text messages. So let me go ahead and start this up here. And then while that's loading into the dialer, so to speak, it's not a call, it's a text, but I'm still going to call it a dialer here. I'm going to bring up the actual CSV that I've uploaded here. So let me make this a bit bigger so everybody can see it. So the idea here is that you can put in lots of different information related to the leads that you want to send text to. Things like first name, address, phone number, date of birth, email. And in this case, I'm also putting in a time for the appointment. So the idea is we're going to send a text out, and it's going to say that you have an appointment at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And they're going to be able to reply to that text message and say things like, I can't make it, or I need to reschedule. There's quite a few things that they'll be able to say. And we can customize this. So if you've got other information you want to push out via text, we can do that as well. But as I was talking here, I actually got the text message. So let me go ahead and bring that up here. So there's the text message. Now notice it says, "Hi, Paul. As a reminder, you have an appointment at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Reply back with any questions. See you then." So there's a couple of pieces of information that are actually being pulled from that CSV file. And that's, first of all, the name Paul. So it says, "Hi, Paul." Makes it a little bit personal. They can see their name in the text. And then also the time for the appointment. You've got an appointment at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Again, all configurable as well as the rest of the text. We can modify this really almost endlessly. This is one of the great benefits to the solution that we're offering, is that you can change just about any part of it. So in this case, I need to actually reschedule. I won't be able to make it at 4 p.m. today. So rather than talk to a live agent, I can actually just go ahead and reply to the text. So I'm going to say here, I need to reschedule. And after I send back that message, it's going to ask me a couple of follow-up questions. So it's going to come back and say, for example, what day works best for you? And then after replying back with what day works best, it's going to go ahead and ask me what time. Alternatively, I could also go ahead and just reply back with the day and the time at the same time. So I don't necessarily need to wait for it to ask me all these questions. In fact, I could have said when I need to reschedule that I need to reschedule to Tuesday at 3 p.m. or whatever the case may be. But the idea here is that you don't have to involve a live agent. On that note, I still have my agent logged in because I'm going to go through another use case here where it sends an update notification. But I'm currently logged into this other browser here as an agent named Karina. And she's going to be able to take the text message I send in a little bit later saying that, in this case, I'll go through a password reset here. Notice though, as I'm waiting for this text message to come back, I can actually view as the agent my stats. So I can, for example, see what my occupancy is for today, as well as history of previous calls, how I compare to my peers and things like that. That's if you want to go for the full contact center. I'll talk about that in a little bit. In the meantime, I just got the canned response, what day works for you? So I could just give the day, or in this case, I could go ahead and say, I'll go with Tuesday at 3 p.m. So if I go ahead and I give the day and the time together, then there won't be any need for it to ask me what time. It'll just come back and say that, okay, I've got you rescheduled for Tuesday at 3 p.m. What else can I help you with today? And there's the response. I was able to move your appointment to Tuesday at 3 p.m. What else can I help you with today? We can actually change that up a little bit here and there. There's quite a bit that we can do with that. And that's, not the limit of what these bots can do. They can also answer FAQs and things like that. So I'll ask, for example, are you open before 8? And just asking a question like that, which is something that doesn't really require a live agent, I can get a bot or a virtual agent to actually respond to that. So in this case, very simple question, are you open before 8? It'll come back and it will ask me, or it'll come back and it'll give me the canned hours there after a moment. There is, a little bit of a delay while it's processed and the intent is detected. But there you can see it comes in pretty quickly. Our national office is open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, closed most weekends. What else can I help you with today? So I'll go ahead and I'll actually end it here rather than get transferred to a live agent. And I'll just say that's all. Thanks. Countless studies have shown that even when you're talking to a virtual agent, people still say things like please and thank you, just because it's sort of built into us. It's how we're raised. So I'll go ahead and I'll say that's all, thanks. And then after a moment, it'll come back and say, thanks for contacting us and have a great day. I've been going through text messaging here because I know there was some interest in outbound text campaigns. But know that this is also available via web chat, via voice, and we offer it all in the same solution. So if you wanted something truly omni-channel and you wanted to give your customers full control over how they contact you, whether it be via voice, chat, text, that is a possibility here. So what I'll do now, I'll go ahead and I'll start another campaign. Let me go ahead and actually stop this one. And then I'll go to my update notifications because I did want to show what it looks like if you actually send the interaction to a live agent. So in this case, I've got this other campaign which I've labeled update notifications. And there's also a list here, which I'll go ahead and start. And the idea here is that we're going to send out a notification that there's going to be an update to our system. And I'm being pretty general here. You could push a lot of info about what that system is if you wanted to. But this is just a general demo environment. So this is going to go ahead and send out the message saying we're making an update tonight. Please reply back with any questions so that we can help you. And again, I'm using the same file here. I don't have to actually use all of this information. So even though this file that's been uploaded has a day and a time zone and whatnot, I don't have to use that. I can instead pick apart what parts I want. So if I just want to have the message say, hi, Paul, we're performing an update tonight, I can very easily do that here because it's all just part of the same lead capture here. And then it's a simple matter of coming in here and just uploading the list and starting it. On that note, you can have multiple lists running at the same time. That's often very good if you have different leads and things like that. You can also have multiple campaigns, as we've seen here, one for appointment reminders and one for update notifications. On that note, I just got the text message. Let me go ahead and minimize this. So there's the message saying, "Hi, Paul, a platform update is being released tonight. Let us know if you have any questions." So let's imagine for a moment that it's the next day or some time has passed, and for some reason I can't log in. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I can't log in. And this, because of the way that I built this virtual agent, this kind of an intent here, or this sort of utterance, is going to say, please wait while I transfer you to an agent who can assist you. And then over here, my agent Karina is now getting a toast notification about an incoming text. So I hit accept here. I'm going to get that SMS work item. We use the term work item with this contact center to cover any type of interaction, whether it be a call, a chat, a text, you name it. The idea here is that it's an omni-channel contact center. It was built that way from the beginning. So there's a much greater integration between voice and chat, text, email, social media, you name it. We can actually work with a lot of different communication types. So in this case, it routes to an agent because troubleshooting, it's kind of a delicate matter. You probably want to get a live agent to troubleshoot something. Maybe with this particular type of situation, you might keep it simple and trigger a password reset link automatically. But in this case, I'm just sending it to an agent to kind of show we can escalate to a live agent. So if I'll scroll down just a little bit here, I can actually see the text message here. I can't log in. And then please wait while I transfer you to an agent. So even though you've got a little bit of bot functionality going on here, if you escalate to a live agent, they'll be able to see all of the back and forth between the bot and the user. So they'll know exactly what's going on. Karina doesn't need to ask what I can help you with today. She can see you can't log in, and she'll go ahead and say, I'll send a password reset link to the email address on file. So she can type up responses here. She can also review information that's been passed to her. So notice here in the intent, this is saying reset password. So even if she couldn't understand what was being said here just through the text, the virtual agent, the bot, is actually telling her what intent it detected based on what the user said via text message. So she is able to understand again in another way what exactly is going on here. Lots of other information being passed here. So for example, there's the campaign, which I'm just calling main inbound, the queue here, which is customer service. Could have sent it to different queues. We can support that as well. I can also go down here to the history, and by default, this will search over the last 3 days. So going back to the idea that this is an omni-channel contact center, I can actually see all of the text, chats, calls over the last 3 days. So there's been 24 inbound calls, 40 inbound chats, and 16 inbound SMS texts. I use this a lot for demos, so there's quite a bit of activity. I assure you that Paul Barnes here, my demo contact, is really not that much of a hassle. So I can see the inbound text messages. So let's take a look at this one. This is actually the one from just a moment ago where I was saying I need to reschedule. So I can see here the back and forth. I need to reschedule. What day works for you? And then even the FAQ that was asked. So I know everything that happened. Maybe along the way, while resetting their password, they say, you know what, I never got a confirmation email or text when I rescheduled my appointment. Are we still on for Tuesday at 3 p.m.? And then Karina can come down here and see all the information about that interaction. Say, yep, I see right here. So no raising a hand, no IMing some other agent they may have worked with, no looking at logs or anything. It's all right here at her fingertips, as well as various other data and events about this particular interaction. So this is, a step up from just offering the virtual agent. We do offer a full contact center solution. But if you're not ready to swap out your current contact center solution, we can also sell these virtual agents or these bots on their own. And you can enhance your customer experience just with these by themselves. And it provides a lot of powerful features. We haven't really shown any CRM integrations, but we've done plenty of that. not just with the well-known systems like Salesforce and HubSpot. We actually have a lot of experience working with homegrown systems that you don't necessarily find listed on all the review sites. So if you've built something yourself or if it's something vertical specific, we also work a lot with ISVs, independent software vendors, who have built vertical specific systems and sort of take integrations at a slow pace. We're very used to working with them. So um, please reach out with any questions you may have. And then, we can go ahead and have a conversation around that. So, any questions from the group? I did want to leave time for questions, but we got a little less than 15 minutes left here. Steve, how do you feel? Do you want to move on to questions? Otherwise, I could show a few other things.
Yeah, we can move on to questions. I'll go ahead and share my screen here. Okay. Replace current share. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that, Patrick and Matt. That was very interesting. As a matter of fact, I didn't know much about that social media, but it's getting bigger and bigger. And it's interesting that one question I have, or one kind of thought that I had about that social media stuff is, a lot of the customers that we're serving now are small businesses, and they may have somebody who's doing a little bit of marketing, a little bit of, you know, Facebook and updating and so on and so forth. But boy, wouldn't it be powerful to have someone on your staff? You could hire some kind of young firecracker who could basically maintain 10 or 15 or 20 different social accounts on behalf of the customers. And I'm telling you what, you get a customer, you're answering their phones, and you're basically running their social media and responding to their social media, the inputs that are coming in, and you're never going to lose that customer. You're just not going to lose that customer because nobody could do that. And it's a tremendous advantage. And I just want to remind everybody that, I mean, we didn't have time to look at all these things, but omni-channel and SMS, inbound and outbound, CRM integrations, the outbound dollar and the IVR. I was on a call the other day, and we are talking about IVRs and check-in lines for nurses. And one of the people like me, the sales professional, he had sold a solution to a nursing or a hospital chain, and they were charging the hospital $200,000 a month for all these nurses across their whole infrastructure to sign in and out, and so $200,000 a month. I mean, there is money to be made out there with a platform like this. It's insane. And so I really want to just highlight that all the opportunities of inbound and outbound IVRs, where you can do appointment, employee check-in, employee sick and tardy lines. You can dip into databases and find the 5 people that will replace that 3rd grade teacher and that school community, and you can send texts out to them, and send the information back to the vice principal. There's so much you can do. Now you have the opportunity to go out and start interviewing your clients and say, hey, what do you need? What would you like? And 9 times out of 10 or 99 times out of 100, you're going to have a solution for them. And so I just want to, there was a question, of course, about pricing. And it's a good question. And so basically it works like this. There's a platform cost for all these contact center platforms, including Nextiva, because they're having to keep an infrastructure up in the cloud and so on and so forth. So there is a typical platform cost. Now, some of those platform costs, some of those companies are asking for a lot of money, before you even start rolling out all these different campaigns. So Nextiva has a very, very reasonable one. And actually, they are offering a 50% discount on their platform cost till October 31st for anyone who signs up for this revenue platform by October 31st. And then it's usage, how many SMSs do you send out? How many do you receive? How many emails, et cetera, and so forth, which of course you're going to pass those costs onto your client. So, but it's very reasonable to get started. And one of the things I was thinking of is that think about it as I'm going to get this platform, and then maybe every 3 months I'm going to implement something else. First I'm going to start with, web chat, and then after I'm, got all the customers I can, and I've marketed it, and now I'm that's rolling. Okay, now I'm going to add SMS appointment reminders and mass notification. And then I roll that out, I market it, I get a bunch of customers on board, I get a bunch of new customers, I get really good at it, and everything's great. And then I add on email processing, all these machines that are calling in and saying, oh, send a technician for me. And I get that, and I do that for another 2 months, and I get that get that rolling and smoothed out. And then I start on dialers and IVRs, and maybe I do that for 4 months because, there's just so much business, and there's different campaigns I can build. So I really focus on that. And then, after that, I get into the social media, and I find somebody I can bring on board to even, do the social media on behalf of my clients and so on and so forth. So after a year, you look back and you say, wow, okay, I've added web chat, SMS, email processing, dialers, IVRs, appointment setting, appointment reminders, mass notification. I'm into social media now. None of these people are going to leave you because nobody else can provide this. Okay. And now you've got a staff that's very, very good at handling all these different channels. And your competitive advantage has skyrocketed over all of the competitors that you have. I mean, imagine, we saw that screen with the different competitors, Burger King and McDonald's and me. Okay, if you were to do that with all of your different clients or all your different competitors across the country and say, okay, which one of my competitors can offer all this? Okay, what's going to start happening is, that constant churn of customers who are going after the lowest price, that ends because you can charge a fair price and you can build up your profitability because you're not using agents for a lot of these things. And you are now, you're at the top end, you're the most competitive, and you're keeping that competitive advantage. And you can just, excuse me, my dog is, my dog is excited. My dog is very excited. And
Steve, one of the things that you described is you create an environment within your customer base so they start to think Steve first, cloud first, or cloud consult. How can I, go? I've got a project, I need a thing to do. First person I'm going to talk to is Steve. Right? You want them to start thinking about you first and a cloud first methodology. So you get that time to revenue and the revenue platform leveraged.
yeah, and Tom, you can speak to this as well. And I really, I have up here a QR code. You can scan this. It goes right to my appointment scheduler, and you can schedule an appointment with me. But we'll get on the phone with Tom, and Tom will tell you what happens is, and all you guys know this. I mean, once you start rolling stuff like this out, they'll be like, hey, can you do this? And hey, I was thinking, could you do that? And you can start saying, hey, I'm doing this for, other people, what about you? Would you like that? And they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, I never thought of that. And they start coming to you with different use cases for the platform that you have, and you just continue to build the revenue on this revenue platform. So, I mean, I'm very passionate about getting the TAS industry into these new, very profitable channels because I think You've got a tremendous team that you've developed and a tremendous reputation. And I just feel like there's opportunities out there that if you embrace these opportunities, you will be very, very successful. And I know lots of you have been around for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And the way to be around for another 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years is to jump on this right now and get ahead of all of your competition. So that's the question I had. I hope I answered that. And but please give us a call, and we'll set up some time. And again, Tom is going to be a tremendous resource to be able to practically say this is how you can build your business with a platform like this, step by step by step. You don't have to do it all at once. It's very overwhelming, but step by step. In a year, you can look back and you can be at a much different place than you are right now. And that's what that's our goal with this revenue platform. So Tom, thank you very much. Patrick, thank you very much. That's an awesome display there. I can't wait to see more. Matt, thank you. I know you're very passionate about that social media, and you know what? You're not wrong. It's going to get bigger and bigger. So thank you guys for joining us, and we'll do more of these in the future. Thank you, everyone who joined us today, and we look forward to continuing the conversation in the future.